Good afternoon, everyone. This is actually my topic today is high performance, business intelligence. This I'm going to talk about the practical applications, how we use business intelligence in the commercial field. Particularly in the banking industry. Basically, I'm an architect, in data warehousing and business intelligence and big data in the last 15 years of my 29 years experience, Um, so currently I'm heading a team, metrics, analytics and benchmarking at Wells Fargo in USA. Wells Fargo, just to give an idea, it is actually the largest bank, by market value, about like a US dollar $280 billion company in the world. And so this is one of the oldest bank, about like 164 years oldest bank, and it has the headquarters in San Francisco and Charlotte, North Carolina. So before I get into the business intelligence, just I want to give you a little bit of, what is actually the foundation for business intelligence. It's the database. That's actually the foundation. The database is nothing but a collection of data. All of you know that. What is data warehouse? So we are building actually data warehouse from database. So data warehouse is nothing but processed data, that is well formatted data, which is ready to use for business decision making systems. Because the database, may have data, but may not be actually very meaningful. So we use actually a lot of techniques and tools to create data warehouse. The creation of data warehouse, it's a complete, it's a big, field which I can actually talk about the whole day. Due to the time, I'm just, saying, so the data warehouse, that's the foundation, It is actually a subject-oriented, integrated, time-variant, and non-volatile, of data. Okay, so here is actually the kind of picture will tell you what is data warehouse. The left-hand side, what you see are, different databases like HR data, payroll data, budget forecasting, order entry. These are all separate, databases. And then what you see actually a big, the square, that's where the main, that work is taking place. Generally, it is a kind of overnight process, which actually pulls the billions of rows, into actually and create a summarized data, which is ready to use for at the enterprise level. The one you see on the left hand side are very detailed, maybe at the customer level or account level, which at the enterprise level, the senior leaders like a CEO, president level, they may not be interested actually know what is happening at the account level. What they need to know is how the company is doing, what happened yesterday, what happened last week, how we are doing actually in the market, how we are doing, our bank is doing against the other bank, what's actually, how we actually measure, like what is our cholesterol and what's our blood pressure. Every organization actually has a set of, parameters called KPIs, key performance indicator. That's what that executives care about. Okay, so our team is doing, creating putting the data from the, we have about like 10,000 branches across US. So we pull actually the data, overnight and update the dashboard for the next day for our CEOs. What happened yesterday? How much, net new money deposited? How much money withdrawal actually? How many new customers added? How many customers, closed the account? How many ATMs actually yesterday failed? These are the things that, that the executives want to know and make, immediate action, So that's what, that data warehouse we actually create. So just to give you actually, so from data warehouse, we create actually data mart, which is a slice of the data, data warehouse, so the purpose of the data mart could be actually many things. One actually is, that quick performance and security and the other reasons. Okay, data mining. This is actually our prime, job actually. So far, what I said actually, all actually the basic, the fundamentals. The data mining actually is the one we actually take care of it. Yet, this is nothing but the interact. This the center one. What you see, this is actually the in this three diagrams, that the intersect of increasing the computing power. The one side actually we are increasing the computing power because of the every day we are adding more and more data, new customers, everything. We are getting actually data from various sources. Earlier only structured data, now actually unstructured data. We are getting, the data definition is changed. Earlier data definition means only actually in the form of table. Now video is the data. The data is coming actually in the form of Word, Excel, audio, video, anything, text, everything nowadays is data, which we call it big data, which I don't want to get into that, but that is the data we are kind of pulling into our data warehouse to give actually our executives the best, possible situation. So we use actually, so the high performance comes actually in major two categories. One, we are increasing the hardware, our infrastructure, which is, I would say, only 25%. The 75% of the high performance, comes by design. How well we designed our data warehouse, how well we design our, our reports, dashboards, scoreboards, that is actually the 75% which gives the best performance. So data mining actually, as I said, it's the intersect of, computing power, statistical algorithms, and advanced data collections and management. Okay, this is actually the online analytical processing. This is the fundamental how we design the system. Okay, and data warehouse is there, and we cannot actually use the data warehouse straight for our reporting purpose, because we are talking about, like, you can imagine 70, in our bank, the number of customers are 70 million customers. You can imagine every customer may have about like 5 to 10 products, checking account, saving account, like that, every customer, and it's day, and we are storing about like 5 to 10 years data to analyze, to find the pattern. So you can imagine the humongous volume of the data. So what we do is, this is actually one of the techniques we use called OLAP, online analytical processing. And these are the 4 design depending upon the requirement of the thing. Either we have to go with the roll-up, or roll-up means it's a relational database, model. It's a MOLAP, it's a multi-dimensional model. And OLAP is a kind of a hybrid between the, the roll-up and the MOLAP. And then the next one, last one, least thing is the desktop, which is kind of individual, like finance managers who's very sensitive data, they actually use it. But the very popular one is the MOLAP and the HOLAP. These are the techniques we will use to design the applications. I wish I have more time to go into actually and explain a little bit of the algorithm and the thing, what is coming with the MOLAP and the HOLAP, but unfortunately, I don't have time, so I'm just going with this, So here comes the business intelligence. The business intelligence is, is gathering the data, storing the data, analyzing the data, and giving access to the data. Right people on right time, giving access to the data. So I give you actually a quick example. If when you drive the car, if your car says you are going actually like 75 kilometers per hour, that's the information. Okay, but if your car says fill gas in the next 10 miles, because the next gas station is after 30 kilometers, that is the business intelligence. Okay, so what happens is, the car application, it calculates how much speed you are driving, and how much gas how much petrol your car has currently, and how much it takes actually per liter to travel, and when is the next gas station. It calculates everything and gives you that decision for you to make. This is what the business intelligence is. So we make actually that dashboard for our executives, collecting that data, and and using the various tools, and then gives actually the that information for our executives to make the decision. And due to the time, I'm just flying actually. There are various types of business applications, and so various categories. In the BI thing, like a dashboard, forecasting, and operations. These are actually the main thing. So the main thing is sometimes the people get actually confused between business intelligence versus business analytics. What is business intelligence is what happened, when happened, like what, when, who, how. This is what actually the business intelligence means. That is based on the past, historical data. What we actually analyze and tell. That is actually using the historical data. That is business intelligence. The business analytics is why did it happen, when will it happen again, what will happen if you change a particular parameter. These are actually called business analytics. Okay, so we actually do both. The business analytics actually comes from the business intelligence. Basically the data warehouse gives the feed the data for both actually, but that the business intelligence, we actually give the data in the form of dashboards, scoreboards, reports and everything, whereas on the business analytical side, we give actually data mining, predictive model, those kind of things. Okay, we use one of the great tool called MicroStrategy for our thing. This is one of the tools we use among all other tools. Okay, so this is the architecture of the tool. I just want to give you few dashboards. Since it's a kind of a bank financial, I cannot show our dashboards due to security reasons. So I've kind of pulled actually some sample dashboard very close to our dashboards. Just to give you idea. This kind of dashboard, the people who actually work in the reporting know actually may take months actually to create this kind of dashboard. This is an interactive dashboard, okay? But using the tools which we have, it's a multi-million dollar tools, we can create this kind of dashboards in few weeks, okay? So just to give you actually on the left hand side, you select a city in California. That gives actually the population. The very first one, it gives the population, domestic migration, international migration, and then for that city by county, it gives actually what is the population growth. Okay. Similarly, the other things. It is a simple dashboard. For a company where it gives actually the revenue, product, and then for the revenue it gives the breakdown at the region level. When you select the region, it gives actually what are the breakdown for the subcategory level. So this is a one page actually dashboard where that the executives or the decision makers need not actually go through hundreds and thousands of reports. This one page will give actually the full picture of about the whole thing, for the 2014, okay, by books, by electronics, movies, music, So if that is actually their line of business, okay. So this is a corporate sales review. This is at the corporate level. You can see that it gives more like a pictorial thing, like how they are doing actually in the last 12 months, their sales or their product, their profit, how they are doing. If they want to move from the company level, from their enterprise level to actually region level, they can actually drill down. This will give actually at the region level, and if they are particular within the region, they can select actually a particular city. and then particular branch actually. So this is actually, this is what, the business intelligence, a kind of standard dashboard is about. And this is one of the operational performance dashboard. We call it bubble chart, which will give actually within a second it will give the executives, if the green means it's profit is positive, red means it's a loss. The size actually tells how much, whether the profit is bigger or actually if the small means the profit or the loss is smaller. So by just giving actually, this dashboard, that executives will know in a second how we are doing. So so this is actually the power of that the business intelligence tool today. Okay, I can keep going actually, but due to the time, I'm just stopping with that. This is actually a heat map. So it's a various techniques and various things we have. But I'm kind of stopping here due to the time constraint. Okay.